Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Energy Sherpa channel. My name is Michael Abney, and I am so glad that you guys stopped by today. Today, I'm talking about what it's like to have a pivot in the middle of a global shift in consciousness. You know, the one that we're having right now on the planet where everything's changing every minute of every day. And you're like, what's going on here? I don't know if you guys have been feeling it, but I know that it's been happening for a lot of folks. Just everybody is like this deep-seated thing that we've sort of had on the back burner. Is like now every impulse in the universe is like, now is the time. Now is the time. If not now. I've started several businesses before in my lifetime, and I find it's better for me as an entrepreneur to surround myself with other like-minded folks that can create some sort of accountability for me and hold me to my word that when I say I'm going to get something done, that I don't get stopped or broke down. I've got a resource, 30 years of my business life, that it really requires having a structure around you to hold you to the things that you say that you're going to get done, so that they get done and become real in the world. So last week I had the really great pleasure of having a conversation with somebody that I recently met. She is a business partner of a dear friend of mine, Erin Joy. They're both really, really passionate about women business entrepreneurs. They do that in the form of a new company that they just started online called Fuel to Fire. FuelToFire.com. And her business partner, Midori, is joining me for a conversation. We really started out talking about the company, how it works, and how it could really support upcoming business startups, women thinking about getting it, just to have somebody around them to help them go through that process, whatever that process is for them. So I was really excited to have the conversation. It sort of took off, and we started talking about doing that inside the context of the world, the crazy world that we're living in right now, and still like having that not be a distraction, not ignoring it, but at the same time still moving forward with our lives, which I thought was really, really super empowering. I hope you guys enjoy the conversation. It's going to be right on the other side of this. Stay tuned, and we'll see you on the other side. How are you doing?
I'm doing fabulous. How are you, Michael?
I'm doing good. I'm here in St. Louis. I'm in a little studio. Where are you at?
I'm here in Northern California in my backyard.
And today, guys, we are just kind of hanging out, having a little conversation because Midori has a company with my really good friend, Erin Joy, and you guys, it's called Fuel to Fire. It is about adding an easy way to add accountability into our lives and make it like on the go with some apps. And I just wanted you to share your vision about what you're creating for people like me, entrepreneurs, to keep our visions intact and be accountable. So when life's little bumps happen, we've got a support system around us. So thank you so much for being on the channel today and sharing this and just sharing you and your energy. I'm so glad you're here.
The name was very intentional. It is all about, I mean, you know, Erin Joy and myself, we've been serial entrepreneurs forever. And where we get our energy from is by creating massive things. That's just how we tick. And I think there's a few more people out there in the world that are like us. And so that's why we decided to start Fuel the Fire. It's all about setting big goals, big intentions, being stretchy, formula to do it correctly. So you're more, and having that accountability to help you get there. So you're staying focused, you're getting pushed, and you're also getting that support. So that's really what Fuel the Fire is all about, is making big stuff happen.
I love it. And all of the back end stuff that creative people don't really like to think about or have time to create, because as soon as we get out of our wheelhouse, we're thrown off and we're not in our creative space anymore. So it does take a village. And it's wonderful to know that this is out there and we can reach out. I'll put links into the site down below, but it's basically kind of give me an overview of what's there. Like when somebody goes to fueltofire.com, is this just like, I know there's, you guys are doing videos. You've got a YouTube channel too, which we'll link down below as well, that you just started, because we talked about that and how exciting that is to start your own YouTube channel and all the crazy that comes with that.
Oh my gosh, yeah, we have a lot to talk about. But yeah, when they go to Fuel the Fire, really what it is, it's a membership site. So our members all have to be, so we have conversations with every single person before they are invited in, because we protect our group. It really is, comes down to, it has to be a certain kind of person who will thrive in this environment. And we want every single member to have the best experience. So that's how it starts, is they come to our site, they schedule a call with us, and then if it looks like it's a good fit, then they're invited in, and then they get put into an accountability pod. And that's your own little secret group that you're in, where you're honest and you talk about the challenges that you have. If you're having a problem with creativity or staying focused, or your tax bill just came, or whatever it is, it's where you can be, and you can be safe, and you're with like-minded people. And you set big goals, and each other supports each other to get there. So that's really the main part of Fuel the Fire. But yes, we do have a YouTube channel, where we address these issues that we're talking about, Michael. Stretching yourself, setting goals, feeling accepted, just all the experiences that we go through as entrepreneurs and as people who want to grow and develop. So that's what the YouTube channel is all about.
I love that you have, I didn't know that too. So you do that like a Zoom call, or how does your pod stay connected?
Yeah, so
Is it via the app, or is it like a mastermind call or a Zoom call, or like how do you guys handle that? Because you're all
yes,
over the place, right?
we're everywhere. Are you kidding
Yeah.
me?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're bi-coastal, but
Yeah.
so it's Zoom, is how each pod connects each week.
Okay.
They have a whole system that they go through, just to make it so it's more effective, most effective. Um, and then we also get together. We just had a networking event the other day. I was out in St. Louis. A
Yes.
couple, I met you there. We had coffee dates, and Aaron's coming out next week, so we'll be doing the same thing out here in California. Um, but as far as your pod goes, yeah, you meet once a week, for an hour. And then if you want to connect after that or with our other members, there's lots of opportunities for that as well.
I love it. That's such a valuable thing. And also something you said that's so important. Like, so when you do stretch, as an energy coach, somebody that's helped people, somebody that I've been through every kind of stretch you can imagine, like shit just falls apart. So it's like having that space where you can have that safe space to say, hey, this thing just came out of nowhere this week and blindsided me. And sometimes just being able to talk about it, because as an entrepreneur you feel like you got to carry the whole boat by yourself sometimes, or have that
Yes.
energy of it. And being a creator and a visionary, there's a tendency, and working with higher vibrational things, there's a tendency for that group of people to get smaller and smaller and smaller. So I've been learning that the side effect, because I've been in a mastermind for a year, that's been an extraordinary experience about just raising your level of vibration, and how that connection to that group has really been life changing. So I'm excited about taking this on in relationships to the YouTube channel that I'm creating, and some other businesses that I'm going to have launching later on this year. And my real estate is like, it's all there. Like it's all part of the big piece of pie.
The big piece of pie. Yeah. And, you brought up vibration. And I think that's so important, because for so many reasons, is as entrepreneurs, sometimes we do feel totally isolated. And
Totally. And the bad and shame and like all this like crazy stuff, like understand how the people around you make such a powerful impact on where you're going next in your life. Like that's who you surround yourself with, you become that. And if you're doing it with a conscious, it's really extraordinary to see how transformative and how quickly it can transform.
I'm a mindset coach. So all this stuff, vibration and transformation, that's all my wheelhouse. This is what I do. This is what I love. I geek out on this, but I've seen it so quickly on so many, whether you're an entrepreneur or not. It doesn't take that much, but you need to have that support. You need to have that guidance on how to do it often, because sometimes we can get caught up in our own crap, quite frankly,
Oh,
right? And
it
get
happens
lost, especially
so quickly.
Yes, and we
And now the
question.
outs that I'm starting to feel, which I never felt before, is, we also have to acknowledge the time that we're living in now. Like we're living in extraordinary times. There is like I texted you the other day, and I'm like, that word, like I was talking to a friend of mine, pivoting in the middle of a shift, a global conscious shift. Like, because I believe that that's what's happening. We're waking up to awareness that we could create a better world, that we could create one that works for more people, if not everybody. Like it's possible if we could just dare to think it, like those
Yeah.
big, hairy ass goals. Like that's one that I have, is like, I believe it's possible to create a world that works for everybody if we just started talking about it. Like it's possible. Like the
Yes.
systems that got us here are not going to take us to the next place, and there's so much like the stuff that's happening in Afghanistan. That's, it's a horrific to watch it or know that it's happening, but at the same time, that's been happening for 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
And right or wrong, left or right, blue or red, whatever it is, it has to end. It's like a marriage that is wrong. Like that has to, there's at some point you got to rip the band-aid off. And I know we're all kind of at that point. For me, like I've noticed it a lot in and people that I've been communicating with, people in my tribe, that's all has this sort of sense that there's this deeper calling pulling us forward to not just the things we want to create, but how do the things that we're creating fit into that big picture of creating that world that works for everybody. Does that make sense? Or do you have a sense of
Yes.
that? It's just kind of like, I know we're all like living our best life, but there's some sort of something in the universe somewhere that we got to connect to, that we're also human beings.
Yeah.
And if, me creating a great life, that's awesome. But I don't, I want more than that. I want a community of people that, know who they are, and they can create it. Like I know everybody can create their own reality. Like, that.
Mm-hmm.
You know that. Everybody doesn't know that.
Right. And you mentioned earlier, maybe it was off camera, how we're all kind of connected. Not kind of, we are all
Are all
connected. And so, what this time has meant to me the most, the thing that has stood out the most between the pandemic, between the chaos going on around the world, lives just being shattered, is that we are all the same. And we need to see kind of things blow up a bit to know that each one of us does have meaning in each other's lives. So, where I'm trying to go with this is that I believe that it is possible and it is important for each one of us individually to help each other out. Because the way that I'm going to feel the best is when I see people all around me being healthy and happy
totally,
and abundant. And
totally.
I don't care if it's the person who I don't know at all, but to me, if I see people around me that are living well, that's a win for all of us. So why aren't we all working together to create that? And that's what I love about what you're doing, Michael. And so regardless of the words that we use and the way that we think about it, I think we're all kind of talking about the same thing, and we all have a responsibility towards it. And remembering to think outside of our own bubble, because we are all connected. And I think that's kind of the most important thing that has arisen in awareness in the last year and a half, at least in my mind. It's important to hear these stories. It's important for us to have our brains expanded based on others' experiences and to
Yeah.
grow from that.
Yeah. Well, I believe we're doing that. I believe that what you're creating is that putting ourselves into, like, throwing ourselves into our visions, and just like, we're going to go for it and make it happen no matter what, or a better version of it. Just go towards it. It's not like you have to do the whole thing by yourself, obviously.
Yeah.
You're talking about support. I'm talking about support through the channel and other things. Like, we're all here for that, to make this space, this ride, the best ride that we can make it.
And to leave a positive mark
Yeah.
in the end, right?
And helping us keep our perspectives, because that's what's generating the whole thing, in alignment with what our life is calling us. What's pulling you into your future right now? Like,
Yes.
you're kind of pumped about it. What's pulling you there?
What I'm so excited about in the next 90 days is how many people we're bringing in to fuel the fire, especially women, entrepreneurial women. There's a big shift for them. Gosh, those moms who are trying to raise kids, trying to be a homeschool teacher, trying to do it all without losing their minds. We're open to you. And so that's what I'm really that is what gets me shot out of bed every day, is how we are bringing in these people to wrap our arms around them and help them and all grow together.
Because we all have a little piece of the puzzle. And if you're here, you're alive and you're breathing, it's time to activate that puzzle piece and create that space.
Yes. Great way to end. I love it.
Yes. Awesome. Well, I will put all the information down below. I so appreciate you coming in today and like taking some time to share with me your experience about Fuel to Fire and just sort of talk about what's exciting, pulling us forward. And yeah, like, let's light it up.
Let's do it. Thanks for having me.
We will see you on the next one, guys. Thanks again, Midori. Bye-bye.